Welcome to the channel. My name's Hayden Albert. I recently bought 43 acres of property out here in South Carolina. I'm gonna take you guys along on a journey as I improve this land for my use. So follow along, drop a like, give me a follow. Let's see what we do with it.
Unfortunately, I have to trailer and unload the tractor every single time I come to the land. I just don't have a place to store it on the land, and I just don't feel safe leaving it there. All right, I'm here in the woods. Got the chainsaw. I love this electric steel. I know a lot of people hate on electric, but I come out here for usually like 5 hours at a time. I've only used half a battery ever, and I have 2 full batteries, so it's never been a problem. Super quiet, no gas I gotta worry about. Just plug it in when I'm done. I guess if you're a professional, you might run out of battery, but for me, for half a day, works great. What I'm trying to do is, I see some oak trees. The oak trees still leave their leaves on there over winter, so I'm gonna come in and selectively cut around them so that they can get some sun, and this spring they can sprout and get some good growth on them this summer. I have plenty of pine trees and plenty of gum trees, so anytime I see an oak, I'm cutting it out and giving it a fighting chance. So let's get you set up. You can see me clearing around this oak tree right here. You can see the dead leaves that are right there in the center of that clearing. It's a small little tree I'm trying to save and clear out a little room for. I went actually back on satellite imagery and saw that this property had been clear cut about 13 years ago. So all of these trees are 13 years old or younger, depending on when they actually, volunteered to sprout up here. So you can see I opened up that canopy. It's a little brighter. Now over on here on this side, you can see that those leaves right there that are dead, and so those are from last season. I'm gonna cut that oak tree out, give it a fighting chance. I mean, guys, this stuff is thick. It is. I can't even walk in here. I got so many, branches to the face. And the worst thing is with these pine trees and gum trees, I swear the vines just like grow in pairs with this stuff, because every single part of this connected by these vines, and I could barely walk, and so it really needs thinned out. You can see I cut the top out of this one, and it's connected to this other tree, so I ended up having to cut so many trees just to get a little tiny area. So it was tight in there. I was not enjoying that.
We are here on the back property line. We're gonna cut right through here. So if you can see over to my right, we got a bunch of big trees, and then over to the left over here, these are about 13 years old. This was clear cut back in 2013. So it's had a little over 10 years to grow up. So I got the small saw, and we're just gonna go right along this old tree line and hopefully open up to the very back corner, which is the power lines. And then that'll give us access around the entire property. So that's the goal, is to be able to drive the entire circumference of the property. But yeah, let's get to it.
This area was actually a little wet, so I was not able to take the tractor back here like I really wanted to. This was just coming off of winter, and it was actually one of the biggest storms was actually rolling in right after this. I had a few hours to get out to the property this day, and you can see in this time lapse here, the trees are really blowing it. Since they were small, it actually helped me push these trees over, because if there was no wind, they kind of just would stay there and they would get hung up on other trees. So the wind kind of helped me in this instance, and it wasn't unsafe because these things are so small you can pick them up with one hand. But we were able to cut this path in. I realized that my tractor with the grapple is very slow going to kind of plow through this thick stuff. So I wanted to cut them all down, and then the plan is to rent an excavator and actually pluck out all these stumps. It took me a whole day just to go a few feet, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 feet. And it just got really slow going, and I was scraping up the tractor too much, and it was just really tight. So I figured, well, let's just spend a little bit of money, rent an excavator. I'll come through here, cut this trail in, and then I'll be able to just pluck all these out and make a nice path. And so I think that'll work out really, really good. But this is the southernmost property line, and we're clearing that up, and hopefully plant a little crop there, or some cover, some clover or something. Turn this into a little deer highway coming off the neighbor's property. So yeah, really happy with how it turned out.